Did you ever want it? Did you want it bad?
Hello, thank you for joining us. This is Hot Little Takes,
Round two.
podcast about television. This is our second effort at opening this thing up.
Even more overdue than it was before.
Even more overdue. Season 2.
My name is Christian O'Shaughnessy.
My name is Michael Lee.
We love Big Little Lies.
We are huge fans of Big Little Lies. We
have had a dream about this podcast for years.
Yeah, we should have started making this podcast before the show even started airing.
If only we had known what it was going to mean to us then.
Yeah.
Do you want to tell everyone how much it means?
Well,
where it comes from?
Okay, so we started watching this show when we were destitute, living in my parents' basement.
The winter of 17.
Right after Obama had been fired. It was a dark age. And
a recent death.
And we had a lot going on.
We were coming out of the young pope.
And the young pope was a great lead-in.
Mm-hmm.
Which
yeah.
we were really getting by thanks to HBO at that period in our lives.
And after weeks and weeks of me convincing Mike that these trailers of all of these wonderful white women looking at the beach and driving their cars and drinking Chardonnay was, I think, maybe going to be really good.
Yeah, I was very skeptical when we started watching the first episode of Big Little Lies. I thought I had no interest in watching something about a bunch of rich white women, but
boy was I wrong.
But about 15 minutes into that, I was in love.
Yeah, night one had us by the throat.
Every single one of these actresses is so damn charming that I cannot help but just love this damn show.
Ate the entire season up.
Yeah,
like candy.
So we watched,
and we never knew that we were gonna get any more.
Yeah, we thought that was.
It. We were happy with it.
Yeah, and because there's no sequel to the book that this season 2 has been based on, or anything like that. It was an open field. We had no idea what could happen. And I for sure thought this season, when they brought in Meryl Streep, we were pretty excited.
Yeah, we're turning it up.
Yeah,
one more, right?
Yeah, and we thought this was going to be about the murder of Perry
Wright.
And I think it got pretty distracted with the child endangerment custody battle plot, but I don't hate it though. I mean, I predicted Meryl's gonna have a courtroom breakdown.
Yeah,
I'm super proud about that.
Yeah. That was a good prediction. We also, this is the thing we talked about before that we wanted everyone to know. We knew it was those fucking twins that were bullying Amabella in season 1.
Oh yeah,
immediately.
We had some great predictions.
Immediately.
Yeah, when they fucked up, they fucked up like the teddy bear or the elephant or whatever.
Yeah, that's right. The doll.
Yeah,
of course.
We knew that was Chekhov's.
There was
elephant.
even just something about it was like Chekhov's blonde twins.
Yeah.
Like, why on earth should I trust these two blonde rich twins?
Yeah, if television taught me anything, it's that twins are not to be trusted.
The Winklevoss twins. I'm 4'4" and there's 2 of me. Social Network fans love that joke. I'll tell you what.
So today we were going to watch the finale of the second season and kind of discuss our thoughts on the whole second season, which is a whole other ballpark from our beloved season 1.
Yeah.
No, I don't hate it. It's different. It's weird. It's definitely weird. Maybe we should just run through each of our characters.
Do you want to do it now, or do you want to go through?
I mean, should we discuss what each of them have been going through this season before we start it, or should we just start?
I guess. I mean, should we? I kind of feel like we need to like grade the treatment of our women through our couples.
As we watch the episode, you mean?
I mean, or now. I don't know. What do you think?
Yeah, we should. Well, okay. Let's just go through each of them. So
Celeste takes the. I guess Celeste is the lead in both seasons.
Yeah.
She's at least the dramatic center of the show.
She's tied directly to the events that are happening more than any of the other girls, except
Except
Jane.
Well, but Jane, I think, kind of got pushed in the back. We're crossing over already.
Right.
Celeste
Is
high drama. Celeste is like in Act 5 of a Shakespeare play all the time.
Yeah, and this season it's been all about Mary Louise. Mary Louise.
And they are bound together in this.
And Mary Louise being worried about the children and about all the Ambien and all the rough sex with random men. And all
I really thought that the prediction of Mary Louise planting drugs on her was gonna be a thing.
Oh.
When she was rifling through her drawers or something, it seemed like maybe when this custody battle came to head that there might be some.
I thought that it was going to be much more about the murder of Perry, and they kind of touched on it, and I laughed and I hated the computer simulation of someone being pushed down a flight
Oh my
of
god!
stairs.
Oh my god! Where was that?
That was the worst.
Where was that when the man was murdered?
Yeah, and they kind of just, they're like, no, we're gonna save that for season 3. Otherwise, we don't have a third season. Because that's the end of the story if they solve that thing. So instead, they made it much more about the custody battle and these women just unbearing and destroying their souls about their darkest motherhood failures for 2 straight hours.
Yeah. Can you imagine what a surreal moment that would be to see that happening before you? If you're in there for like a parking ticket the day of that hearing.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know.
It was open to the. They made it clear in one of the episodes that it was open to the public.
I never understand. That's always a Hollywood thing where I'm like, why would random people be allowed to go watch this shit going down?
They're like,
this isn't Judge Judy. I mean, imagine some kid going to law school sitting in that room, and he's like, Jesus Christ, this is fucking crazy.
Well, beyond what grade we give Celeste's journey in this season, we can definitely give her attorney an F, right? The worst attorney
which she wisely eventually was like, you know what? I'm a fucking attorney, and I'm a better fucking attorney than you, which she clearly showed.
Yeah.
And she just.
I was happy.
I was waiting for that to happen.
I was glad to see Celeste be really dominant in the courtroom when in the episode the week before, she was acting like a crackhead on the stand, and it seemed like someone who had that much experience in court would have been a little more in control of what needs to happen when she's in there. I realize that when you're on the stand, it's probably a much different thing, but Jesus.
They really kind of made you forget she was a lawyer a little bit.
Yeah, they did.
And then she's like, I'm a lawyer, and you're like, oh, that's right. Why has she been
she's like she's
ridiculous?
incredible in the first season when they go to the meeting about about Avenue Q.
Yeah, that's one of those things where it's like, this season seems like it could have just wrapped up the whole plot. This could have maybe been done in half the amount of time,
Or could it have been done with a little more time and a little more care in some of those plots and stretch them out?
Let's talk about some of the other characters.
They stayed with the 7-episode thing
because some
it was totally arbitrary.
Some of them that killed me that weren't really.
I think
related much.
Jane had a bad season.
Jane got shafted with her little boyfriend thing, and it's real sad because she was kind of
she was the core of the first season. Yeah.
And they tried to make this season more about Bonnie and her situation, but it was so
because she wasn't much of a character.
Poorly
in the first season.
Executed.
But
I know a lot of people were upset about the voodoo black woman archetype.
Yeah, and then they killed her immediately. So I think that some of Bonnie's stuff comes from the bad treatment of that character.
And I feel
we were kind of crossing Jane and Bonnie because Jane, the way that Bonnie is tied to the poor treatment of the mother character, Jane is tied to the poor treatment of her SeaWorld employee or whatever the hell that they do. That whole thing was so bizarre.
Well, it was a.
And then
one cliffhanger about maybe he's a cop.
They use him as a little red herring for 2 frames of the show.
That was pretty weak.
I don't know. I don't know what happened there. We didn't bring up
the other main plot going on was with the other 2 gals had some main plots. Reese Witherspoon's dealing with her.
Reese and Laura Dern, but those obviously got treated different ways too. Reese gets away, I guess.
Yeah.
None of it mattered. Everything going on with Reese did not matter. With Madeline, I should say. Not with Reese.
Yeah, Madeline's plot with Ed was kind of... it was logical following season 1.
Yeah.
But it was also just kind of
Yeah.
another filler thing a little bit.
And just not a good look for Ed, man. He's still just caved after all of his like, I'm not gonna cave, I'm not gonna cave, I'm not gonna cave. He just did.
I was very surprised he didn't sleep with the band teacher's wife or whatever.
Well, and that was the other like end of that episode hanger that just turned into one wet fart of a scene with him and the woman, and no explanation as to why her husband was there.
Yeah.
God. I mean, Ed, obviously, the beginning of the season, Ed and Nathan's scenes are some of the best scenes in the entirety of both seasons of the show.
The season started very, very strong. You know,
that third episode, I remember us sitting there.
That's why I'm kind of surprised, you know, this finale didn't really feel like a finale, you know.
No, it really didn't.
Felt like it was setting up a third season more than anything.
Did it feel kind of marked in stone, the end? Did you feel pretty confident, like, well, there's no way that there's no way she's taking her kids?
Oh, well, that seemed like it was kind of, I never had a doubt that those kids
I never had
her,
a doubt.
You know? Because they made Meryl into such a kind of caricature of a villainous.
And Dennis O'Hare being, like, the devil lawyer of hers, too. Just, like...
Yeah, they make her so unlikable where you're like, who the fuck would give this old lady these little boys? Like, why would any judge do that?
Yeah.
Like, before they even start, before they even get into Meryl's, or into Nicole Kidman's fucking affairs and...
Yeah.
Sorry, I can't remember any of the characters'
and
names.
Celeste. I just don't know why. And I still don't understand how that was relevant. But also, it really wasn't a good look for when that guy walks out into the kitchen when they're all there. Bad, like, obviously really poor form by that guy.
Which guy?
The guy that she sleeps with who walks out into the kitchen, like, shirtless when Meryl brings the kids in, and he's like, "What's up, everybody? Hey, little man." And
hey,
like,
what's up, dude? They don't really...
Ambient or no.
They don't really set up, like, how much that's going on until it's
until
revealed
it's in court.
And you're like, Jesus Christ, like...
Yeah.
You know,
we kind of called that too. We knew that.
Well,
we're
pretty
destructive
good at,
behavior was totally down the pipeline for her.
We did predict that, but I like to think we're clever for that. You know?
And I like to think that it wasn't very clever
that
for Big Little
Lies. That obvious.
Yeah, that whole section is just a tough beat. I don't know. The whole show really, the whole season after that third episode just kind of fell apart for me.
Well, maybe we should just start watching it.
Did you want it bad?
And now a word from our sponsor, The Now Show with Jack Bell, a web series about people who make a late-night talk show in their garage. Season 1 premieres July 28th. Check it out at Grown Up Costume Party on YouTube. Or if you want to come to the season premiere event, look us up on Twitter and Facebook. The Now Show with Jack Bell. It's funny.
Did you want it bad?
We're back.
So,
inside of the episode
you've got an issue with Jane's decor.
Let's start here. Okay, so we're gonna go through this. We're rewatching the episode right now.
Yeah.
With subtitles as God intended it, so that you can see the words be elevated off the page. Mm-hmm. Everyone should watch shows with the subtitles on. But we're inside the episode watching it right now, and one of the things that I want to get out of the way about the season finale is Jane wearing her SeaWorld outfit to the trial.
So I don't know if she just came from work or if she's going to work afterwards is my only question, because...
I mean, she clearly she's got a closet and a car. She couldn't throw something on before she runs in here.
Jane's the poor one who lives in an apartment building. I mean, they all kind of get pigeonholed. They get pigeonholed.
They do get pigeonholed.
I've
a show that
they're based on the Spice Girls.
A show that clings to its style so fervently all the time. I find it weird that she's wearing a polo with an orca whale on it. It's Celeste's trial. It seems like a weird move for me. But like we were saying before, we want to talk about Mary Louise.
Yeah, Mary Louise.
when she
she gets called out for her own misdeeds as a mother.
Well, sure, but we've talked about like, kind of what goes down in the trial, but her as a totality, we knew as soon as Meryl Streep was going to play this part, we knew that this was going to be steamroller, big bad guy for the whole season. But I don't know what they did. I don't know what they did with it. Ultimately, I don't know. I think
they made her more distracted with trying to take the boys than trying to figure out Perry's death, because she clearly seems like she thinks they killed Perry or something happened, but she's not following through with that. I mean, especially
and that gets dropped.
I mean, if they're talking about the custody of these children, if she really suspects that Perry's death is a big factor, they really drop it fast. They certainly drop it in this finale. Yeah.
I mean, it completely goes out the window.
It's all about the boys in this, and that's how they set up their third season, which I imagine is going to be a long, drawn out.
Is it a trial of the 5 of them? I mean, maybe we shouldn't jump ahead to like the very final moments of this right away. But
I think it's unfortunate this season.
But does this have anywhere to go?
I mean, it feels more like like I've said, I think to like a filler than completing its own story. Like, the end of season 1 of Big Little Lies didn't set up a second season. There was no that story completed itself, and this one is almost ending on a cliffhanger, which
yeah, I suppose you're right.
Empire Strikes Back, I guess, kind of thing.
I suppose, and maybe I guess
there's the small win of the boys, and that's kind of the arc of the season.
Yeah, and we can talk more about how much we want a third season and what we would need to see out of it, but God, we're still in this. We're still in this trial scene, which really is just a.
Well, now when she's got the video footage, that destroys everything, and saves the day somehow. Yeah, Mary Louise is a really complicated character, but I feel like it's too much. She's gotten to be a little caricature of an antagonist than likable.
The scene from the last episode where she shuts the door and is wringing her hands with the music playing was very Silence of the Lambs, wasn't it?
Oh yeah, while Jane's screaming at her.
Yeah.
Yeah, they haven't made her redeemable. But I do think she's been a worthwhile character for them to encounter. Like, I was really hoping once Bonnie's mom showed up that we were going to see every single woman's mom show up.
Oh!
That was going to be the plot of this season.
Yeah, we were making predictions on who was coming.
Like, I was looking forward to Renata's mother.
Jane Fonda? Was it going to be Jane Fonda?
Oh, yeah, sure.
Sure, right?
And Reese Witherspoon's mother showing up as, like, Goldie Hawn or something like that.
Oh, my God. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
But, yeah. The motherhood thing kind of fell through. The voodoo mother immediately went into a coma, and I was like, is this going to get supernatural? Like, they almost made you think she's going to know what happened from beyond or something, or that maybe when she came out of the coma, she would remember what Bonnie confessed. And it was all kind of meaningless throwaway to explain that Bonnie had issues with abuse, and that's why she killed Perry. And it's like, that was an unearned arc.
Sure,
plot.
And it also and all of Bonnie's anxiety. I mean, obviously we know how this episode ends, but a lot of her anxiety culminated in telling Nathan that she doesn't love him anymore.
Yeah, which was never really explicitly said.
No, not at all.
This episode.
That she never loved him ever.
Well, I think the problem is that Bonnie was interesting because
they may not have made sense the entire time as a couple, but I mean,
I think the problem with that character is
that seemed a little tacked on.
In the first season, she wasn't one of the main characters, and so when she killed Perry, it was unexpected.
Yes.
And now they have tried to enhance her character in this season, and it's been all about the grief she's going through and this plot with her mother, and it's just kind of not fitting into the same universe, and I feel bad because she's a great actress. And
right. And while we're on the topic of not fitting in the universe, we're in this scene here where
Jane talks to not the cop,
not the coffee shop season 1 guy who I guess just got left in the dust, but weird SeaWorld guy who gives one of the most cliched speeches I've ever seen in my life.
He sounds like me when I started college, and I was like, well, if you just cling on to things and think too much, man, then...
He sounds like you on this podcast right now. He gives one of the... he gives the first of 2 speeches about how no one's perfect in this episode. Because Reese gives one later on.
That seems pretty fucking obvious. I mean, how long ago did anyone in this show give up the idea of perfection? It's been 6 months since they all watched that man.
Since they pushed a man down the stairs.
What the fuck kind of lesson is that?
Yeah, truly.
So this scene, okay, Mary Louise comes to their house that night and freaks out after she's been humiliated on trial. And no one brings it up to the judge. Because it seems like would immediately
Are there not
the
legal implications?
Exactly. If she did something like this, and she's like, this woman fucking showed up at my house with her own key, started letting herself into the house.
Yeah.
Like, case closed. And yet, they're gonna add a whole... another, like...
Right, because you have to believe that Celeste has, like, serious security out there. She, like, has this on tape. Probably, right?
It's almost like they made these characters' dynamics like a high school debate where they each get a turn to talk throughout the episode. Where you're like, well, that should be the end of it, and then they have a rebuttal, and then you're like, well,
I don't know enough about legal proceedings to know how accurate the court scenes are in here, but they seem a little.
This judge seems like she doesn't give a fuck. Because they're like, can I speak? And she's like, well, I was talking, but yeah, go ahead.
Good performance out of that judge, though. I like that actress.
Yeah, I feel like she's played a mom in a lot of
she's the mom in
sitcoms.
She's Lena Dunham's mom in Girls. I remember her most as that.
So this guy, while we're talking about weird parents in this show.
Yeah, the bad guy from the DEA agent from Weeds.
And he's also in the movie Saved, which I watched not that long ago.
Saved, great.
He's the pastor.
Great fucking
He's like
flick.
Pastor Pete or whatever.
Yeah, shouts to Martin Donovan. He is a great that guy.
Is that his name?
Martin Donovan, yes, it is. That one I remember reading in the credits and knowing who it was.
What's Gordon Klein's name again? I just looked it up.
Jeffrey Nordling.
So
we will get to him.
Can we start talking about the Kleins a little bit? Because I don't really care about these. Won't she murder her mother with?
All right. Well, this has its origins in us watching this for the first time as well. Because I think that actor specifically, who is the smallest name in the original cast from season 1,
Gordon Klein.
Yeah, Jeffrey Nordling playing Gordon Klein is the smallest actor and probably the smallest primary role of those adult characters.
But he owns it.
But he does such a wonderful job going as over the top and nuanced as a lot of these other people do. But it goes totally underappreciated. His entrance into the show is like a 15-second walk outside with, you're imagining like a Belvini 36 scotch or something, and the longest sit down and sigh of breath I've ever seen on TV before. And he consistently, in all of the tiny fragments of episodes that he gets, just devours the scenery.
Well, and
it goes so unrespected.
And he's playing so well the second fiddle to
Laura Dern, absolutely,
who is stealing the show.
Yes,
Laura Dern is the true star of Big Little Lies.
It's probably the breakout performance.
She's like a Shakespearean clown or something.
The Laura Dern-essence has been upon us.
Yeah,
but this was a big indicator of that.
But they have the best chemistry in their scenes where she's just going fucking ballistic, and he's, matching her like on every beat with
Yeah.
his like it's gonna be fine.
Yeah,
attitude.
he's like this crass bohemian that
and
he
he's
is.
fucking the au pair and got his little train set.
Sure, but that's all season 2 stuff. But him in season 2, he got shortchanged, I think, so much. The Kleins in general.
Well, it started off strong when he started getting. When he'd, done some shit and they're foreclosing everything.
Yeah, and I
they're
really thought that
bankrupt.
we were going to get a lot more them in the legal proceedings following that, but that was relegated to these 90-second intercuts between scenes at the hospital.
That's because I feel like a lot of this scene was dragging things out because they wanted to make the real plot about Perry's death season 3. So they're like, well, we have to drag out all of these little side stories happening and all of the intricate
But my
stuff
problem with
happening
this
between
season
these
is that they didn't
characters.
really drag. I mean, the Kleins they didn't drag out at all. They truncated it
Yeah,
within an inch of its life.
Well, because they know that they want to make season 3 about their actual divorce. Like, Renata's stuck with
God,
him this whole
you're,
season.
you're such a pessimist that you think that that's what season 3 is
I
going to
really
be. I
do.
just hope that there isn't a season 3 now a little bit.
I think that that's the only reason they made this season is because they knew there was going to be a season 3. Otherwise, if they don't make a season 3, I will be pretty disappointed with the way
with this entire process, right?
this whole show is gone. Because they literally walk into the police station at the end. Like, they give you a setup for a third season on a silver platter at the
Sure.
end.
So
of
all right.
this
So
thing.
so we've jumped to the ending. So you think we're
I'm jumping
assuming
around.
we assume that they're going in and they're confessing. That's clear. I
Yeah,
think.
as a group.
What do we think now that Celeste has this video of Perry? I mean, like that really brutal video that they play in court. Now that Celeste has that, I mean, are we worried for them again? I mean, this is just like the court case with Celeste and Mary Louise. Like, are we ever gonna actually be worried about what's gonna happen?
Right. This is the kind of thing that, like,
is this
Dude,
just gonna turn into the OC where it's like, all right, let's run it for 5-6
Yeah,
years, and we just want to catch up
and
with.
you know that they're rich white ladies, they're the one they
Like, their friendship was born out of a traumatic event, and now we're just gonna keep going back to them overcoming these, like,
well, that's why this whole season,
tinier and
this
tinier
whole season,
problems.
You could argue is, did we need this season at all?
Yeah. Chloe,
it's like-
Chloe the daughter also got shortchanged, I think, in this
I
season.
had the same thought today when I
Yeah.
watched that. I was like, man, they underused especially that little girl because she's fucking hilarious.
Yeah.
And she's got great jams.
Yeah.
And she's talking about how she has connections for getting cereal in this.
Yeah,
and you're
great.
Like, come on, give me more. That's
Great stuff
funny.
out of her. Great stuff out of her. Yeah, they steered away from the kids in this
So at
season. The kids
Madeline
were like
and
the
Ed. The kids were like the main focus in the first season.
well, not the focus, but like they were the catalyst for like a
Yes.
lot of things spiraling into
They
action.
pushed the plot.
And I
ahead.
suppose that towards the beginning of the season when
when
Chloe spoils the news, they were doing that. But then it's this, and I said this before, like
it's been more about the twins.
the
this
back
season.
the back end of the season just like turned into a different show. Like the kids were gone, the Kleins were gone. It was a lot of jumpy cuts.
This
Things
Ed and
changed
Madeline
a lot.
stuff got dragged out a lot, I think, because he found out about the affair. He's upset. He's had the opportunity to fuck that other girl, and he
which
doesn't-
they've done nothing with.
I thought he was
he earned it.
He earned it. He got cheated on.
Sure, and I'll use that point.
And-
I'll use that
and-
point to make another point for my guy Gordon Klein. If we're gonna just cast him out into space, what separates him from Madeline? They did the same thing, but Madeline is just given forgiveness and forgiveness and forgiveness because she's one of our primary people. But I mean,
Sure. Well, and she's just giving Ed the doe eyes and putting on her wedding dress and
Gordon's working with
it's
a
a
train
little
set.
it's
So
and Gordon's fucking the au pair and working with a train set, but it's like they're it's a little rough to watch Ed just kind of cave.
It's rough to watch Ed cave.
Because you thought maybe this more would come of this, but it's been a lot of him hemming and hawing about trust and her her saying
we should
that
mention
she feels bad.
And we should mention that the marriage counseling scene at the retreat was relegated to 1 5-second sequence of them hugging people.
Yeah, that should have been a whole episode of them getting You know, they never got any therapy. They just decided.
They went to one. They went to one.
Let's renew our vows.
Also, Celeste didn't go to therapy during this entire court process.
Yeah, and I'm amazed that she wasn't telling her therapist that she was like taking too much Ambien and fucking random dudes, because that was like.
Well, she explained in the courtroom scene that she felt like that was gonna.
Yeah, they explained it away. But I was still
but
dissatisfied with that explanation.
Did she have to go shoot the Deadwood movie?
Oh yeah, she was too busy being Calamity Jane.
The
the therapist.
She's like, get these fucking weights off my ankles, baby. I need to go drink whiskey and swear and spit.
Fly.
Okay, well, I actually accept that.
Yeah.
As an excuse. I mean, not for storytelling. It's obviously not good. Should have figured something out.
So
get more of those therapy scenes in there.
Who was your favorite arc this season? Since they were all a little scattered and a little meandering.
Yeah, I mean now that we're looking,
some were too long and some were too short.
Yeah, now that we're looking at the landscape of the whole season, I don't know. That's tough. I mean, I guess you have to say Celeste because she wins the season.
Well, and Celeste's always she was kind of the primary. Last season too, but so was Jane. Jane had a big. Jane got the biggest shaft. Bonnie, they kind of clumsily brought into the fold. I feel like. Yeah,
and Renata, they sort of exploded when they needed her, but kind of disregarded her as a.
Well, I think they've been using her as a comedic relief.
Yeah.
And so.
Yeah, there's been scenes that
they haven't given her. She was a bigger antagonist in the first season and was actually a big driving force in the plot for everything.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, now when you see the back of her head walking down a hallway, it gets a laugh. When you see her running from down the hallway behind the two characters that are talking, it gets a laugh. Like she just. Operates on a whole other
think
level.
I probably just wait through some of these scenes to wait for a Renata scene, you know?
Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say that they're like Omar scenes, but they are the like, oh, thank God we're finally here.
Yeah.
They're back.
Like, she should win a fucking Emmy for this.
Oh, man. She's swinging for the fences, to be sure.
Did this show get any Emmys? You follow that stuff?
I usually do, but I don't know the Emmy nominations. Maybe we can do it. We can do an epilogue.
I know they feel the need to break them up into boys and girls, right? Now she's giving another rebuttal in court, and then they just keep both standing up and they're saying the same shit over and over again. Like they kind of dragged this court stuff into 2 episodes, and it could have been one really great finale.
I still think that this could have been 10 episodes. I think that we could have been waiting for this.
Well, the first one I didn't realize it was only 7. Until I was watching this. I thought there was one more. And so I was watching this and I was like, what are they going to do after this?
Nothing. Nothing is the answer to that. Yeah, looking back on the landscape of this, I don't know why we did it.
Well, I think it got distracted. Like this season started with the death of Perry and Mary Louise being distraught about that, and I feel like it's ended on Celeste keeping her sons, and that's like not really the same question that it's answering. So I feel like it's just putting that question.
Well, and there's stuff that I think that we mentioned earlier.
And you know, David E. Kelly. I love you, man.
This is what it. This is.
What did he make? Like Baywatch or something? I don't know.
This is just exactly where I was about to go. Was that I think we mentioned the story that Andrea Arnold, the director of this, kind of got shoved out of the way in the process of making the show.
By David E. Kelly?
No, by Jean-Marc Vallée, who directed.
Who's Jean-Marc Vallée?
He directed the first season.
Oh, well, then why the hell didn't he just direct this season?
I don't know. Because I think that they shot a lot of this around the same time that they shot Sharp Objects that he was doing, which he shot, obviously in a pretty similar way, but he was an EP on this.
Yeah, you did tell me to watch.
And he was like in the back. I think he was in he was in the cutting room a lot, and a lot of the editing. There's like 5 editors listed on a lot of these episodes, so it's clearly like touched a lot of hands. It's been through a lot of different things.
That's tough.
And it isn't really like what that Andrea Arnold director.
She had a different cut.
Well, like what she set out to. I think that even during the process of shooting, she felt like she was getting pushed out.
But
of
how different is the script? You know.
I don't know how different the script is, but I know that.
So she was more in control at the beginning of season 2, which we both agreed this season starts strong, but ends a little weird.
Yeah.
And a little out, drags on some of these plots that. I still think the overall script of this season, they should have been about Perry's death, and they made it about this instead.
Well, I mean,
it's related, but it's also like
now we're like having the discussion that they have in court. Like, is this relevant?
Yeah.
To what we're talking about here?
Is this relevant to what this show's about?
And what this court case is about is kind of irrelevant to what we've been guided through as an audience. Like, this is something that's coming in a totally bizarre angle, I think.
I don't think we've seen the last of Mary Louise and her.
I was just gonna ask you that question.
And her streak.
You think we see her again?
I think we see her.
Because you think this is coming back.
I think season 3 might end with Mary Louise forgiving Bonnie in court or something like that.
Oh, God.
For pushing her son down.
I mean,
Because I think season 3 is going to be like everything coming out in court, them all rehashing the night and telling the story.
Wow.
That's what I think season 3 is going to look like.
Wow. So we spend all of season 3 in court, in divorce court, and in homicide.
Yeah. And this season was kind of I don't know. A little bit of a distraction. Building on all their characters, but also I'm curious to see how it gets tied in.
Tied into the extended Big Little Lies universe to the canon.
The canon of Big Little Lies.
Yeah.
I don't know. This season was never really planned, but it was planned to have a sequel in mind. So it's just a different vibe. I don't know, but it's not like I'm gonna stop watching it.
No, if a season 3 comes along, I'm here. I'm here for season 3, 100%.
How long do you think it's gonna take for season 3 to get made?
I don't know. I mean, I'll tell you when I see episode 8 of The New Pope.
The New Pope. When does that start?
I have no idea.
And now, a word from our sponsor. Hot Little Takes is brought to you by The Now Show, a web series about people who make a late-night talk show in their garage. The Now Show Season 1 will premiere on July 28th. And if you would like to catch the premiere itself, you can look up details for the entire season event on our Twitter, our Facebook, or our not our Instagram yet. God damn it.
Or YouTube though.
Our YouTube. You can check us out on YouTube at Grown Up Costume Party, The Now Show with Jack Bell.
Did you ever want it?
We are back.
We're gonna close the door on Big Little Lies season 2.
Yeah, I feel like we've said a lot of what we need to say about this season. How do you think it compares to season 1?
I mean, Jesus. How does Max compare to Josh, you know?
Oh, you mean the evil twin versus
Did
twin?
we get the bit in about how you can't trust the blonde twins? Was that in our first crack at this?
I think we are. I don't know. I mean, it's fair. As I predicted, Meryl would have a breakdown in season 1. We did predict that twins are evil. Yeah.
Yeah, it was obvious choice. I hope we got that in the first part. I don't know. I mean, there's really no comparison. I think the second season was a failure. I was disappointed with the way that the episodes were paced. I think a lot of characters got shortchanged. I think they spent time in the wrong places for not enough payback.
Yep.
And
disagree with
but
anything.
if there's a season 3, I'm here for it.
Yeah, I think season 3 will actually be about Perry's murder trial or whatever, and that's really what we could have used this season. This season, like you said, had a lot of things that were just kind of, for lack of a better word, filler. You know?
Yeah, and that seems tough in a 7-episode season to think that there's any filler. I mean, I just think they either could have stretched it out or they could have made this a little more punchy.
Yeah.
The first season was so finely drawn, obviously because it was a novel, and this came out of
And it ended with
demand.
and it ended with such a loud crash. And this one kind of whimpered out over the last couple episodes. You know, I think the highlight was Meryl getting put on trial and seeing Celeste finally be an actual lawyer and a mother and stand up for herself.
I think that the highlight was Ed and Nathan fighting in the park.
Oh, like
did it ever really get better
in
than
the
that?
third episode?
Well,
Oh, you know what? No. I do want to give shout out to Chekhov's train set, because when Renata found out that Gordon got to keep his train set, you can see the baseball bat on the wall behind her. And
Yeah, you know it's coming.
I was just waiting, and that was like a great long.
I did, I got
Show.
the sports nerd in me wanted to know the bat. I wanted to know
What kind of bat?
Yeah, what he had in there. He
He
said
had 60. What did he say? The guy gave him
$410,000.
and he just to take care of all that antique, expensive toys.
When they're losing the house.
Yeah, Gordon was a real ass this season.
Well, but even that's poor planning. I don't know.
Fucking the au pair, stress management.
Lover of fine things, and dumb things.
Gordon Klein.
Fine things,
And Renata. Like I would rather almost see the spinoff about the two of them.
Yeah, give me the Kleins. Take Sarah Jessica Parker and Thomas Hayden Church out of that divorce show and give me those two.
Oh yeah, I haven't watched that divorce show. Well, I used to be a fan of Wings, so Thomas Hayden Church and I go way back.
Sure.
Just like Tony Shalhoub. That's my recommendation for the next show you guys should watch. Wings.
Give me the Thomas Hayden Church, Tony Shalhoub buddy cop.
The Wings
show.
spinoff about the airplane mechanic and the taxi driver.
Yeah, give me that.
I would love to watch that.
Give me one of those. All right, so we're closing the door on Big Little Lies season 2.
With our fingers crossed for a third season.
I guess they're crossed loose for me.
I need the damn story to end, I guess. And I do love these characters and these actresses.
Sure.
Shailene Woodley. Shailene Woodley is fantastic. Got totally shortchanged.
Is Ziggy gonna be too big for his britches if this comes around again? He is young Sheldon.
I don't know. I don't know. I don't think they use the kids much this season, so maybe they'll start using them more.
So maybe they'll kill the kids in the second season.
Who knows?
Maybe this goes full Medea and Celeste slaughters them.
Holy shit.
Holy shit.
I think it'd be Mary Louise.
All right.
Mary Louise crashes into a school bus.
We're off the rails on Big Little Lies. What are we looking for? We're gonna do Succession week to week.
Yeah, we're gonna talk about Succession. For those of you who haven't watched it before, it is about a billionaire family who are like royalty.
Well, they're like the Murdochs.
Yeah, and it's like got King Lear vibes and
Absolutely.
patriarchs getting old and the sons are about to take over the world. And daughter.
Knockout performances.
Yeah, all around great show. Detestable people, but fascinating.
Yes.
And then what else are we going to watch? We're going to watch The New Pope when that comes out.
Whenever the new Pope is coming around, you can expect emergency podcasts.
Yeah.
Immediately following episodes.
Watch The Young Pope if you haven't watched it yet. Jude Law is the most interesting protagonist, antagonist character.
Absolutely. But may not be in the second season.
Yeah, well, we'll see.
If anyone could have been in the room as you and I watched the iPhone footage of John Malkovich shooting the new Pope, and then seeing that he chose the red shoes, which fans of the show know.
Only crazy popes choose red shoes.
Yeah, that's fucking right. That's absolutely right.
Catholicism is metal.
Yeah,
super metal.
And there is supposed to be a new season of The Deuce before the end of the year.
Yeah.
And The Deuce we hold really close to our heart.
George Pelicanos.
David Simon. Pay
Both
respect
geniuses.
to the masters of the craft.
It follows us over. It's gonna skip another 5 years.
This is gonna be in the early 80s.
Every season skips
This
5
is
years.
this is Basquiat.
Yeah.
Dirty.
Oh yeah, Ace Moorhall.
Like beginning of the AIDS crisis, New York City.
Yep.
With some of the best characters I've ever seen.
We're gonna see a lot of Joy Division and stuff like that. It's gonna be a weird time.
Yeah.
Maybe one of the James Francos, the funny one, will have a Flock of Seagulls haircut or something that.
And maybe Parrish.
Yeah, and if you're a fan of James Franco laughing at himself,
thinking he's the cutest man in the world,
like he loves himself, like watching the twins interact is so adorable.
Yeah, do not shortchange that performance.
The Deuce is a great show. It's about prostitution and the sex industry in the 70s in New York City.
The beginning of the porn industry.
Mm-hmm. And it's written by geniuses.
And about gentrification in a neighborhood.
Mm-hmm. And
which everyone I know knows now.
Yeah.
We're definitely going to do that pretty soon here. Mike is going to finish Mad Men, and we're going to do an entire Mad Men recap, which we're looking forward to.
I'm halfway through my first watch of Mad Men. Please don't spoil it for me.
Oh my god. This is 7 years in the making of my personal journey.
Yeah.
To get you to finish this show.
Well, Christian and I made a deal long ago that if he watched The Wire, I would watch Mad Men. Christian watched The Wire about 2 years ago. And I'm finally getting around to my end of the bargain.
And I think that maybe before The Deuce comes out, we should definitely do a David Simon, George Pelicanos appreciation podcast. We'll do The Wire. Maybe I'll show you some key episodes of Treme. We'll read Down by the River Where the Dead Man Goes, and we'll have a good time about true contemporary crime writing at its fucking peak.
Yeah, which is stuff we're both fans of.
Yeah, and a lot of discussion about Bunk, there's a lot of, for anyone who's a fan of that triptych of work.
What?
There's
The Wire,
the Wire and Treme, and
there's the third one,
and The Deuce.
I guess the third one is yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So if there's any of those repertory of actors that come back a lot, really looking forward to maybe a Michael K. Williams appearance in this final season of The Deuce. And I'm blanking on Bunk's name.
We already saw Freeman. What's his name? The guy who played Freeman in The Wire.
I wish I had these names in front of me.
Pimp in
yeah,
The Deuce.
but there's a lot of Wire characters and Treme characters that I would like to see.
And those guys are all awesome.
Yes, some of the finest.
Anything else? Any other shows we plan on watching?
I don't know. I think we're gonna keep rolling these out as quick as we can, but
yeah,
but we did it.
And we'll keep talking about movies we see or books we like or whatever.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
We did it, Mike.
Yeah,
we recorded the podcast.
Yeah, thanks, man. Thanks for watching the White Lady Show with me, and thank you all for joining us.
Hot Little Takes. We'll see you soon.